Hello, my name is Patrick Smith, and I'm your webinar facilitator. Welcome to the final installment of the 5 Pillars of Mentoring, where we'll be talking about assessment. Here's the agenda for this particular session. We'll be covering evaluation definitions. You will learn important terms and evaluation concepts. The importance of evaluation. Here, there will be a discussion of evaluation approaches and why evaluation is important for the mentoring relationship to flourish. A business mentor should consider evaluation as an essential part of any formal mentoring relationship. Evaluation and mentoring. This portion of the presentation will discuss 2 types of evaluation and demonstrate how evaluation can promote an effective and sustainable mentoring relationship. Evaluation application and strategy. This portion of the presentation will reinforce important evaluation concepts by showing how they can be implemented as part of the business mentor's approach to help promote effective mentoring strategies and techniques. During this presentation, you will learn formative and summative evaluation definitions and how to implement them as part of a larger strategy to promote positive, effective mentoring techniques. You will also learn how to assess your business mentee's growth and progress. Now, there are 2 definitions of evaluation that you should be familiar with. Now, people do not always agree on what definition of evaluation should be. However, just knowing the definitions are not enough. You will undoubtedly need to know the appropriate applications of them as well. While evaluation can be applied as a systematic process for program evaluation, it can also be utilized for purposes of evaluating the mentoring relationship. Boumedisz and Dutwin provide definitions of 2 types of evaluation that you should also be familiar with. There's formative evaluation. Formative evaluation measures progress in attaining stated goals and provides suggestions for improvement. Summative evaluation measures the attainment of goals and considers overall activity effectiveness. There are other names given to these types of evaluation. Let's consider them. Process evaluation and outcome evaluation is another way to express formative and summative evaluation. Similar to process evaluation measures implementation of procedures in progress for improvement purposes. Outcome evaluation measures success. Both can be used to measure the effectiveness of the mentoring relationship. Why is evaluation important to the effectiveness of the mentoring relationship? How does evaluation benefit the business mentor or the mentee? And asking yourself the following questions will help get you started. How do I know if my mentoring practices are effective? How do I know if my business mentee is progressing, that is to say, meeting their goals? And how do I know if my business mentee is learning? How can I determine if the mentoring relationship is working? Also, asking yourself these questions will get you started on the path of understanding the importance of evaluation in the mentoring relationship. Asking these types of questions are an important part of the reflection process. Let's put a different spin on the same questions. Take a moment to think about how changing the wording impacts the context of the questions being asked. Both sets of questions are vital to the reflection process. These kind of questions allow the business mentor to reflect upon your mentoring practice, monitoring the effectiveness, that is to say, the impact of your mentoring, determine if the business mentee is progressing or learning, and making important decisions such as, should my mentee modify their goals? Should I change or adapt new approaches, strategies, that is to say, strategies to mentoring? Also, should we continue this relationship? Asking how, when, where, and why to questions that involve any aspect of your mentoring relationship is essential in helping you, as a business mentor, to start thinking strategically about the evaluation process and how you will assess your own effectiveness as a mentor. In addition, it will help you think more critically about the progress of your business mentee. Let's go through each one of these to develop a clearer understanding. As we continue to consider the reason for evaluation, let us consider and ponder these following points. First of all, evaluation helps pre-evaluate your mentee. That is to say, for instance, what is your mentee's background? What is their gender? What is his or her business startup? What are their goals? How long have they been in business? And what are their needs? What about the level of understanding? What is their business acumen, understanding of concepts? What do they already know? What about the business plan? What resources does your mentee lack or need? Is it capital, technology, personnel, for instance? Also, a business plan is the guiding document of any startup. As the old saying goes, fail to plan, plan to fail. What are they good at? So when you consider your mentee's strengths and you start to assess them, these are the questions, or this is a very good question, you should ask. So, are they good at finance? Management? What other skills do you think your mentee needs in order to be successful in their venture? Also, another reason for evaluation, it helps establish expectation. Take a look at points A and B. Professional standards must be established, and there must be clear understanding of both the mentor and mentee roles. For the relationship to foster, both roles must be clearly defined and well understood. Your mentee must have established vision and goals. This is the most effective way to measure their progress and will allow you to more effectively help them maximize their potential. How does my mentee's product measure up against the industry standard? Is your mentee showing up for meetings? Do they come with an agenda? Do they respect your insights? If you and your mentee are serious about making progress and having a fruitful relationship, these questions must be addressed. Continuing on, it is important to occasionally reflect upon both the mentor and the mentee roles. Assessment allows for one, to take an honest look at oneself. Two, there's an opportunity for improvement. Evaluation and mentoring. This portion of the presentation will discuss two evaluation methods and demonstrate how evaluation can promote an effective and sustainable mentoring relationship. It is important that the mentor and mentee occasionally reflect upon the mentoring process and implement any necessary changes that will keep the relationship effective and meaningful for both parties. These questions are designed to help both the mentor and the mentee reflect during this portion of the mentoring process. Remember, process evaluation focuses on whether or not the activity is being appropriately implemented as originally planned, considers the experience, and whether adjustments are needed to address or avoid problems or potential issues. As we move forward, please consider the following. How is the mentoring partnership working? Okay. Are you meeting regularly? Is the mentee open and receptive? Are both of you coming prepared? Does the mentee have goals and agenda? Have they had an opportunity to reflect upon previous successes and failures? What's working well? Is the mentee gaining in confidence? Are you both learning from the process? What changes would you suggest? What are you both gaining from your experience of the process? What changes have occurred as a result of the process? Okay. Is additional support needed? For instance, resources, Does your mentee require reassurance? Looking at number 7, what external constraints or factors may have hindered successes of the relationship? And how may you resolve these concerns? Okay, what are the external constraints? Are there life issues? Is there a lack of time or commitment on behalf of the mentee or on your own behalf? So these are external constraints that may need to be addressed in order to move forward in the relationship. As we continue, this portion of the presentation will discuss 2 types of evaluation and demonstrate how evaluation can promote an effective and sustainable mentoring relationship. Remember, outcome evaluation focuses on program impact and whether or not the goals were accomplished. CADIC uses 6 factors that serve as the basis of a self-assessment tool which both the mentor and mentee may take to assess the effectiveness of their mentoring outcomes. The mentor and mentee role of self-assessment will allow both parties to answer questions that will inform themselves about qualities they possess as a mentor or mentee. The assessment consists of a number of questions by that correlates with a score based upon the person's response. The mentor and mentee role self-assessment will allow both parties to answer questions that will inform themselves about qualities they possess as a mentor or mentee. The assessment consists of a number of questions that correlate with a score based upon the person's response. The assessment is rated over 6 factors listed above: purpose, communication, trust, process, progress, and feedback. The scores are totaled at the end of the assessment, thus indicating the level of effectiveness as a mentor or mentee. The assessment is intended to be shared among the mentee and mentor if both agree and feel comfortable. In order to take the assessment tool, you may click on the links provided to take either the mentor role assessment, and also you want to encourage your mentee to also do the same to take the mentee self-assessment. Remember, outcome evaluation focuses on program impact and whether or not goals were accomplished. This portion of the presentation will reinforce important evaluation concepts by showing how they can be implemented as part of the business mentor's approach to help promote effective mentoring strategies and techniques. This section will discuss goal setting, reflection, and setting an agenda. These 3 categories all play an important role in evaluating the mentoring relationship in that they all focus on mentee accountability and mentor follow-through. Your mentee must have established vision and goals. This is the most effective way to measure their progress and will allow you to more effectively help them maximize their goals and their potential. How does my mentee's product measure up against the industry standard? So what does the following statement mean and how does it relate to the mentoring relationship? What gets measured is what gets done. Your mentee must have established goals. If not, then help set some. The mentee must come to every meeting with their goals. How do you determine whether they succeed in meeting their goals? Goals must be measurable. What examples of any benchmarks have been established between you and your mentee? How are you holding your mentee accountable? What measures of success have been established? You should be able to determine success by whether or not goals are being achieved. Reflect and review with your mentee and hold them accountable. Discuss what factors enable or hinder success and modify the strategy or goals as they are needed. Mentee goals should follow the SMART acronym. Examine the following. S, which is for specific. How detailed are your mentee's goals? Are they detailed enough? Or are they too vague or broad? M, which is measurable. Goals should not only be detailed, but they should be quantified so that measurement can take place. A, for attainable. How will the goals be accomplished? Actionable items, objectives must be established. R, realistic. In reality, is this goal something that the mentee can accomplish? Should it be scaled back or modified? That is to say, within the scope or reach of the mentee. T, for time bound. When will you know that the goal has been accomplished? Time limits and deadlines should be set for accountability purposes. Question to ask and challenge your mentee with. Include the following. What skills are needed for this project? What must be improved? What is the projected outcome? That is to say, how will the end product look? Objectives. These are the action items that are carried out in the process of accomplishing the goals. Resources needed. Technology, funding, coaching, etc. What is it going to take for your business mentee to be successful? And also, the targeted deadline, the date by which the project will be accomplished. This is a reflection activity that allows you to examine and use previous mentoring experiences between you and your mentee. Complete each question and assess your mentoring skills. The mentoring session record is a great way to set meeting agendas and monitor progress toward goals and objectives. Both you and your mentee should have a copy for your records. Remember, mentors empower their mentees by helping them develop these qualities. Good coaches and mentors use evaluation to hold themselves and their mentees accountable, to assess mentor effectiveness, to assess mentee growth and development, to reflect upon the mentoring relationship, and to make decisions.
Assessment. Do you have an assessment strategy? Do you all have an assessment strategy when it comes to your mentoring? Specifically, how do you know if your mentoring is effective? Yes.
Yes, what I can say from BYBT, there is an assessment process that you have to go through, and it's a report that you have to provide on a monthly basis. And you also give feedback as to how the relationship is going between you, the mentor, and the mentee. If that relationship is fractured or is not going, or there's some doubt as far as confidentiality or whatever, then you will separate and look for a different mentor, right? So there are procedures and there are certain things, guidelines within BYBT.
That's good.
I was trying to remember if you were looking at the confidentiality issue, but I remembered when I first became a mentor, I was told the ideas of the mentee are not yours to take away or to develop. And I can't remember if it was something that I signed, but I remember that particularly. So mentors are not supposed to take ideas from the mentees and then go away and develop them or do trade or make business from it.
Right. And that not only would that harm your reputation as a mentor, but it will have organizational impact.
Impact, exactly.
BYBT. Yes.
Yeah, so definitely there's an assessment process there.
Thank you. Any other comments? Proving, understanding, learning, and this is where a lot of the other pillars are starting to converge, and in this one point right here, improving, understanding, it's like communication, getting feedback from your protege, as to your effectiveness. You need to be able to ascertain if they're learning, if they're growing. And basically what gets measured, is what gets done. Establish short and long-term goals. Talk about the SMART acronym. Anyone not familiar with the SMART acronym? So you have the specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, or time-bound. Set goals and quantify them whenever possible. and following up and then evaluating the relationship. And see, that's where we come back to your comments. If they're not, if you don't have an agreement, well, first of all, you should have an agreement in place, and I'm sure you do. But if they're not meeting their end of the bargain, at some point you need to really seriously think about whether or not the relationship needs to continue. Because they do have responsibility.
This concludes the 5 Pillars of Mentoring webinar series. I hope that you have enjoyed each module and that you find them impactful as you move forward in your mentoring. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in contact with me at any time, and I look forward to future collaborations with you. Have a good day.